YouTube or morning, I don't know what it is. Sorry about the noise, I got the heat going. Today we're gonna do, what are we doing? Doing universal joints. Where'd they go? Right in here. Where are we? Am I zoomed in? Yeah. These guys are bad. We're gonna replace these. So I'm gonna tear this thing apart and we'll go step by step. Alright, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the caliper and caliper bracket as one piece. Take the caliper off if you want and then the bracket, but I'm gonna take the whole bracket off as one piece. There's two blowing fuses and stuff here. But anyways, let me do that. Alright, so we took the caliper off, put that up on the leaf spring, making sure not to kink any of the lines and break them. Then I gotta pull the tie rod off so I can have this whole guy loose. Because what we're gonna do now is pull the hub off. I just put these on and we got a faulty one, so we're gonna replace that anyways. Warranty, which is good. And then we gotta pull these bolts off here. You see the one there? There's 4 of them. And that'll release this. Then we gotta break the bond here. And then this whole bearing assembly is gonna come off. Once the bearing assembly is off, I don't remember what I gotta do next. I think I gotta pull these off to get this knuckle out of here. But I don't know. Once I get this thing off, we'll go from there. So. Alright, we pulled the hub off, and then inside there was a C-clip and some retaining washers and junk. Just pull those out in the order that they came off and stack them up so you won't forget. Now what we're going to do is heat up these bolts back here. You can only see one. There's 4 of them. Going to heat up these guys here and attempt to pull this bearing out. This whole hub assembly and the bearing and everything comes out of it. Once we're done with that, then pull this nut off here and this nut off there, and this whole hub should pop out, and then we can get to the front axle, pull it out, and get to my universals. So let's go do that. Okay, once you take the nuts off the inside here, I had to use some heat, but they came off. Couple of wraps with a hammer. And this whole hub bearing assembly slides right off the axle. So now is probably a good time if you need to change this. It all comes in one piece. This is your bearing assembly, so you could change those. I don't remember how much they are, but they're not ridiculously expensive. Those were changed like 2 years ago. I know they look rusty, but well, that's not good. Look at all this nastiness. Ugh. Who knows? But anyways, now I gotta pull this nut off and this one here on the bottom, and this whole thing should drop down and come out, and then I can get the axle out. So use some heat and we're gonna get these out, so stand by. Okay, I was wrong. We're not doing ball joints, so I didn't need to take these off. Once you pull the bearing assembly off, there is a seal on the inside of here. I just tapped on it. I just tapped on it from the back, and it just slid right out. And now the axle just pops right out the hole. And there we go. So now we got to pull this thing apart and get to these universal joints because they are shot. So we'll get over to the vise and start doing that. Alright, I already took it apart, but I'm going to just show you real quick how you do this. Put it in a vise. I spray penetrating oil on it. Probably don't even need it because you just got to slam on it anyways. Put it in the vise and you're going to hit here real hard, this way. And when you do that, this whole thing is going to slide this direction, pushing this cap out because they're usually flush. And then you can just pop the cap off like that. Come back to the other side, smash on this side real hard till this cap comes off. Once this cap comes off, all your bearings are in there, the ruined ones. And then this whole thing comes off. Anyways, it comes off. And then you do the same thing with the other one. Pop that off. Another thing is, you should really do is mark these with a, with a marker or a scribe or something, because you want to put them back together the same way they were. If they're off, 180 degrees, it's going to throw off the balance. So whatever. So I marked them, and now we're going to put it back together the same way. So what you're going to do is put the new one in, and then put the cap over it. We're going to press it in with the vise. So we're going to go do that. All right, that was pretty straightforward. Just make sure, like I said, put a mark here, so these two are lined up again. The universal joint, you pull the caps off. The universal joint goes in. Then you put the cap on both sides, making sure you don't lose any of the needle bearings. And then we put it in the vise and just squeeze the vise and push the caps in. And I just set it on here and tapped it with a hammer just to make sure it was seated. And you want them seated till this groove right here at my fingernail, because we got these, where are these C-clips? These little guys here, they just kind of go in there and lock it in. So I'm going to lock these in, and then we're all set. Okay, these little clips just slide right in. There's a stopper on each side, so they only go in one direction, and you can put them in by hand. Just slide them in and they'll pop right in the groove, and it's all on. So now the old seal, the old outer axle seal was had some issues with it, so we had to buy a new one. So we're gonna slide the axle in, install that, and then put it all back together. So all right, got the axle in, got the new seal on, and now it's just time to the brake backing plate deal was wasted on this truck, so I don't even know where the pieces are from it. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the bearing on and put this back together. So hang on. All right, well, here we go. Got the bearing back on. The little dust shield for the rotor is rotten on this one, so we just put the pieces back in to act as a shim, because I don't know if that little tolerance bringing it in tighter is going to mess anything up. So we just put those back in for now. Maybe later on down the road, if we ever change this bearing, I'll go ahead and change this out. But for now, the universals are done, and these ones have zerk fittings on them, so we're going to grease them up real good here, and just put the rotor back on and the caliper. I pulled off the inner wheel well because we were going to try to do the exhaust manifold on this one, but there's snow coming tomorrow, and if I run into any problems pulling these studs out of the heads, I'm going to need a little bit more downtime, so that'll be on our next project. So I'll just slap this together real quick and be right back. Alright, so we got the caliper back on. JR's just tightening up the hub. Like I said, this hub is bad. It's making all kinds of noise. We had it on the passenger side, it's making all kinds of noise. So we put it over here on the driver's side. Now the driver's side is making noise, so we determined it's the hub. They're brand new and they're warranted, so they're just going to give you a new one. There's probably something inside of it that's screwed up, but anyways. Caliper is back on, everything's tightened up, tie rod end is back on, and we're just going to throw the tire on it and it should be done. So yeah, until next time, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.